All right, we're going to start the Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting. It's Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, and I've got 5 after 5. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Slide it around so you're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna access it right here.
They don't glide very well, do they?
No.
No. It'd be nice to have some decent rolly office chairs.
Item 2, review of treasurer's warrants, payroll 48, 49, and accounts payable 47 and 50.
Make a motion to approve A and B as read.
Second.
Any further discussion? None, we vote. All 3 in favor. Open session, there's no one here. Old business, reopening the ball field.
Okay. The public in general is pushing for the opening of the ball field. I asked MMA, they said we ought to talk to our own town lawyer about a waiver and signage and the verbiage on signage. And
When they say waiver, do they mean like any person that's gonna use it, or just a group, or what?
no, I was specifically referring to Pirate Rec because they wanted to run programs.
Okay.
That's actually who wants it open, it's Pirate Rack.
Yep, and a couple of people called me and said, hey, could I run skill sets? Is there any liability? And I'm like, I gotta check
Right.
before I can okay any of that. I checked with Parkman, they never closed their field. I checked with Guilford, their fields aren't technically open, but
They're not technically closed.
they're not technically closed. Their playground is closed,
Then they pulled the water fountain.
and they pulled the water fountain. I didn't call Dover or Dexter, I figured.
I can just say, because I drive by the park in Bangor, a couple of weeks ago, they had yellow tape up around the basketball courts, and they had taken the hoops down. That's all gone, and they put the hoops back up. So Bangor is definitely shifted. Dexter never really closed the park at Lakeshore Lunch. There were kids there the whole
Yeah.
time, so.
We all know the kids have been playing basketball
Yep.
continuously. So I asked Redmond Winchell. This says, my next issue is reopening Sangerville's Park and rec fields because John and I are good buddies right now. We are putting up sanitizer stations and signage about social distancing before we reopen. We have no public works to sanitize on a regular basis. A local rec group uses our fields for their programming. We have requested documentation for them on how they are going to modify their programming to keep everyone safe. We would like them to sign a waiver releasing the town from any liability. Have you seen anything like this due to the recent events? Would you recommend that we have one drawn up and signed? Is there anything we must put on our signs? Again, thank you for your advice. He got back to me and said, do you require the rec group to have a contract or otherwise sign up for the use of the fields? If it is a rental situation, you can require the renter to clean the facilities, include hold harmless and indemnification language specifically referencing COVID, require insurance, and submit to you their procedures for review and modification if necessary. I have revised such a contract for another town. If not, this is a loose group that just happens to converge on the field to play from time to time, then I recommend that the signs tell the people that they can use the facility at their own risk and advise them to sterilize any equipment before use. Either way, the town is protected by the Maine Tort Claims Act. Furthermore, with a long incubation period, I do not know how anyone would be able to prove that the infection came from the town's equipment. So I met with the Parks and Rec Committee last Wednesday because everybody was ready to go. So we talked it over, and we were talking about putting in sanitation stations near the ball courts, near the playground, at all the fields, probably one at the gazebo. Somebody's going to remove the bleachers because it's really hard to social distance on those bleachers. And we had nobody to go out and clean them, so. And then we were talking about signage. I've talked to Johanna at the town of Guilford. she'd been talking to SAT4, she sent me a whole long list of what the Maine Principals Association is recommending for sports, school sports. And then I have, this is from which town? All right, I can't even remember which town, but this is a 40 pages of how they're going to reopen. It might be Auburn. But I printed off track and field instructions, basketball, adult youth, you know, and it's all the basic stuff. It's not anything everybody else hasn't already thought of. And you just received an email from me that Jason had forwarded to me. This is what Pirate Rec would like to do. They have a liability waiver. They have a code of conduct that needs to be signed by the players and the adults, a COVID release form. They have a sheet of activity guidelines, no high fives or posting or post-game and practice handshakes, no spitting, touching of mouth or face, sanitizer use required if hand-to-mouth contact occurs. There must be at least one parent designated for every practice, scrimmage, or game that is to disinfect shared equipment as necessary. Social distancing practices will be followed as best as possible. They are not going to use the dugouts. Health screening questions answered before participation is allowed. No concession stand. Household-specific family distancing for spectators encouraged. They've got a daily check-in sheet. So they've done their work.
You really think they're gonna have somebody sign that every 14 days?
No.
Then what good?
They admitted to me at
I mean, that's what that says. It's only
They
good for
admitted to
14
me at our
days.
meeting that they have a hard time getting volunteers for anything, and they weren't sure how they were going to do this. And I said, well, if everybody is so gung-ho to have these fields reopened, then you ought to have more volunteers. And if
I mean,
people aren't allowed to go out and do other things, maybe you'll have more volunteers because they'll want to get their kids out of the house. I mean, I don't know.
But those are all really their problems. The bottom line is, we don't have any liability, which is great news. And it almost seems like the last thing we wanna do is sanction something. Just, if they wanna use it, like you said, Parkman's open, if they go to Parkman,
Yep.
if they go there and play, we're not gonna kick them out,
Yep.
and we have no liability. So,
Yeah, the
that's
lawyer does,
awesome.
the lawyer does recommend signage.
I bet you're gonna see everything you just said about schools is gonna change when they just shut down Milan.
Probably. But I recommend that the
Milan has
signs,
a case of COVID.
signs
so that
tell
just
people that they
closed
can
down
use the
school.
facility at their own risk.
Food
They just stopped
program.
doing the lunch.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah, that's,
For today?
This was
And
last the other day.
Oh. Now, as far as the hand sanitation stations, are we installing those and paying for them?
we're paying for them, I don't know who's installing them.
And
They aren't,
Signage we would have to pay for. It's our facility.
yeah, they aren't,
they're not?
they're not that expensive.
And do they get cemented to the ground? Or you're attached to a fence or
I think we're just getting the
dispensers?
dispensers. I would take a good sized post and whack it in the ground and hook the dispenser to it. But I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't even ordered the dispensers yet.
now is there a requirement for the town to put these in their parks and facilities?
No,
Okay,
just one of those,
it's just a suggestion, might be
one of
something
those
people would
best
use.
practices,
Yep.
yeah, can we?
Well, the suggestion is the governor already gave the suggestion. You're really not supposed to use it. Unless you do follow all these guidelines, but we don't have liability.
Right, we have no liability, we don't have a rec, department per se, so we're not conducting any activities there as a town.
Correct.
So if somebody wants to do a skills thing there, the onus is all on them. I'm almost reluctant to say, yeah, put up hand sanitizer, because it's almost like a tacit approval that you should be in there. I
So
put up
just
signs that say, follow social distancing, wear a mask,
Yep,
I wouldn't put up signs, so why do you wanna pay that expense?
I'm,
I mean, I don't see the
That's
point.
fine, yeah.
I didn't see any signs in Bangor.
No. I
signs
wouldn't.
are not expensive, but again, you could,
But it's not so much the expense, it's the maintenance of it.
true.
You mean, you gotta put it up, and if somebody destroys it.
So that's my thing with
Yeah.
hand sanitizer. Well, let's say they're only 30, 40 bucks, but you go through 10 of them.
Yeah, and then they're vandalized, or they're stolen.
You're
Correct.
not, you're not
Well,
gonna keep hand
the
sanitizer.
porta potty places
Right,
are having
people
trouble
will
with
take it.
people
Oh, then forget it.
stealing the sanitizer.
Yeah, I'm
out of
sure, I'm
there.
sure, that's what I was thinking.
Right, you
I'm
probably can't even
envisioning-
keep toilet paper in the,
No, right,
so,
I haven't bothered to check to see if there is, but,
Yeah.
you know, so there's signs like this. We could actually buy a sign for our,
It's way
Park
easier to
rules.
just wait for the governor to say you can go back to using your parks and you don't have to worry about it.
okay, that's fine
That's my
by me.
opinion. I mean,
I guess I'm less draconian. We have no liability. We're not gonna police it. I just would leave it at that.
I
We're
mean,
not gonna tell you
police
yes,
it
we're not
no
gonna tell you
matter
no.
what. So I would just say it's closed, and if they use it, they're using it, a closed park.
Correct,
people are doing that now.
Right.
correct.
right.
And they
That's
have
what
been the
I'm
whole
saying. I
time.
mean, Our stance is to follow, my opinion is we should follow what the governor says. If we're not policing it, we're not kicking people out of it.
No, right,
And we
yeah.
don't have a contract with them. We're not, you know,
No, that's the other kind of weird part is, that was the other thing about how, that I was hearing and everything else when I mentioned that park, but Guilford has all kinds of fields up there that they could be playing on. So I'm kinda confused to,
and you said Parkman never closed.
Never closed.
So if they call Parkman right now, Parkman says, sure, you can play.
Nope.
So what?
I've heard one person say Guilford fields are open, and then the town manager say they're not.
Yeah, and that, probably what that means is nobody's kicking you off.
right.
That's kinda where we're at, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't kicked any of the basketball players off yet, and
I know, I wouldn't, Okay, I don't think there's any action for us to take here, right?
No.
so,
Where did
we're not worried about signage,
We-
we're not
No,
worried about
no.
any of this.
We have no liability.
No, I mean, we're still
complete-
stands
we're
we're
leaving-
closed.
We're leaving the closed sign on.
Yep, just say it's closed, and
And as far as investing in any sort of, are you guys leaning towards that, like
The
hand
hand
sanitizer
No,
stations?
I think it's gonna be abused or overused or stolen.
So we're not
Probably
leaning towards
buy
that
at least
either.
one for the office.
Oh, that's totally
fine.
different.
100%, I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I've been saying with the library wanted one, I would
Sure.
support that.
Yes.
Or the fire department,
Yeah.
but this is
Yeah, but
totally
out
different.
where we can't watch and see what's going on, that's gonna disappear so fast.
Okay, I think we're all, is there anything more on this?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the audit, are we ready to do this today?
No.
Okay, motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second, we were officially tabling the audit. Solid waste contracts. I know we all got copies, I don't know if you've all had a chance to review them.
I sent what I believe is the first one from 1994, and I believe, I'm not sure if the 17, I don't think that's the
17.
last one, but
You don't, I thought it was the last
Yeah.
one.
it might be, is it?
Yeah,
There's the last one, yeah, cause Mike signed.
yeah, it was actually Dale and I and Melissa.
Yeah.
And it might have been during that period where we had interim town manager, I'm not positive, but anyway.
Okay.
I
Those
found
were
one
twice
little
in.
discrepancy between the two contracts. I don't know, I mean, we can talk about it once everybody's read it, but I guess the only question is, for me, is there a way out of it? I don't think there is, but if we could, that would be,
Well, level,
yeah, but I don't know that there is a way out of it. And I don't know that we wanna spend any money finding out if there's a way out of it.
Right.
But that would, I guess,
Is the only question.
yeah, if you guys read it and you think we wanna send it to the attorney, that's probably,
I did send it to the attorney before,
When we went through just last year.
Yeah.
yeah.
it appeared that she thought it appeared
Yes.
from the old version that we were viable
I bet we are.
for cleanup.
It's a really, as you read it, it's kind of amazing that, I don't know, I just can't picture the three of us agreeing to the terms of this contract.
I would really like to
But-
know the question what Dover's doing right now. Are they landfilling in-house or are they sending it out to landfill? I mean, are they filling up?
There, yeah, right, exactly.
I think based on the contract, you can ask all those questions, I don't think they're required to answer you. And we don't have any say in terms of what they do, none. So, we're allowed to have input,
Right,
but it's
we're
just,
only advisory,
just advisory.
just advisory. We can go to the town, the selectmen, it said.
Yep,
2 of us can go to the selectmen, 2 representatives from our town, and,
Okay.
but we only.
and it doesn't really even have to be us.
No,
We
no.
could appoint someone to
Right.
be at those meetings, but,
It's only advisory.
Yep.
So,
okay, all right, are we done with that for now? Moving on to new business? Nothing, okay. Town managers reports, taxes are out. Getting ready for election?
That's why you had to sign all that paperwork. We've got a lot of people doing absentee ballots. It's gonna mean a lot of counting and some extra hours, manpower too. But I think that'll be fine. I'm recommending that we have 3 July meetings, the 15th and the 29th as well as tonight. And if we discover that we don't need one, we'll cancel it later.
I'll just mention that the first meeting in August, I won't be here.
Okay.
I'll be north, doesn't mean I couldn't call in,
well,
but
if we did July 29th, maybe, oh, whoa,
I'll be back on the 5th, after the 15th, I'll be back and
all
up
right,
and
so.
running.
Okay, so we might.
And I know next week I have to be in Canada 2 days, so, and I'm assuming I'm gonna have to go up a few more times, but I don't know my schedule at all, other than next week, it's
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday. So,
I'm totally flexible on, whether it's Wednesday or Thursday makes no difference to me.
yeah, that's the only thing is.
Totally flexible.
Yep,
Yeah.
I am.
I just may have to move us to a Thursday or whatever.
Okay.
I'm hoping that next week is the only 2-day trip, if I have to go up again, I can go up and back on the same day. So,
Okay, so we're tentatively scheduled for next week, we're not gonna
Yep.
nail the day down yet.
On the next
No,
week?
we-
No,
Oh.
not
2
next
weeks.
week.
2
next
weeks,
week's for
Yeah.
yeah. Vote the week of the vote, the 14th is,
Right, the 14th
Election
is the
day,
vote,
yep.
it's the
Right.
day after.
yep. Sure, Okay.
The deputy clerk is scheduled finally to go to her Bureau of
Oh,
Motor
good.
Vehicles training,
Nice.
because it had been canceled. I was originally going to go in August to Greenville, but that's canceled, she's going to Herman. I'm not gonna try until later in the fall, maybe to actually go to that. I did buy the new recorder you asked me to buy. It looks just like that one, so hopefully the learning curve is not very steep. I've had a person complaining about the trucks going up Pleasant Avenue, thinks that we should have our taxes abated because of, not abated, but there should be a grace period because of COVID, and the library needs to be reopened. And that's
Is that various complaints, or is that all one person?
That's one person,
Well,
and
okay.
2 out of the 3 have nothing to do with the town.
correct,
Okay.
You mean trying to control the trucks that are going up Pleasant?
yeah, that's state.
It's free.
And she knows that it's state because we've had various other discussions about the upkeep and the management of the road.
And libraries, not towns.
Yeah, so,
And then an abatement because of COVID.
not an abatement, but
Oh, not an abatement, but
a
a grace period. There are certain things that are out there, and if somebody, I do believe if somebody is positive, perhaps you could say, okay, but other than that, if they want to take a test and prove they're not, I mean,
Well, she was talking because COVID has been such a financial burden for local people.
well, in general,
Yeah, in general.
no. I mean, what,
I have people laid off for COVID and they're all quite happy because they're making way more money
Right.
due to COVID being
I'm
laid
hoping-
off.
And I'm hoping some of them will use that to pay their taxes and get ahead. and-
100%.
right, and people have gotten stimulus checks,
Yep,
so,
Yeah.
right, so,
it's kind of a reverse.
Tax payments are already coming in.
is that right?
I'd say, it's gonna be very interesting to see how different this year is than last year. Because your overlay, if the theory's right and everybody's is impacted by this, the discount, no one's gonna be able to take advantage of it. Or many fewer people will, and I suspect that won't be the case. But we'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
We'll know by August.
Don't know yet, but
I'm actually getting a check back on my escrow because we're not allowed to have that much excess.
Ah,
So that was kind of a good thing.
that's good. So what was the third thing? The COVID, the trucks and the library.
The library.
So,
Which isn't us either.
right.
But
They're doing
we had a
curbside now.
protester out in the yard.
Same one that's complaining?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No.
We're doing some pothole filling and we're doing some brush cutting of the landfill. Oh, I'm on to road commissioner report, yep.
So, this is, McPeters has been started. Jody has basically confirmed that it is completely finished.
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, it
Yeah,
looks,
it looks-
the signs are all gone and
Yeah, it
everything.
looks good.
Yeah, yeah.
They haven't called me yet, but
Right.
I assume you're right.
Yeah.
Reclaim and paving is scheduled to happen next week on the Sangerville Road. I did get somebody to put some gravel out on Thomas Road. You can tell me how it
Yes,
looks?
beautiful.
Okay. I did have a complaint, somebody wanting me to spread some calcium. I'd already asked
Wow.
Herrick's to spread some, and he was waiting for a little bit of rainfall. I think he'll probably
Mm-hmm.
get started soon, but I'm assuming the rainfall has also helped,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
helped
It
keep
has.
the dust
yeah.
down.
But yeah, it was really bone dry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Seth is going to go out and fill some potholes with, I hadn't had a chance to order any coal patch. Seth had some, he's gonna go fill
Awesome.
some for me. Brush cutting of the landfill, I had sent out Reggie Moore, he said, yeah, it's gonna be regular brush cutting. He recommends either Don Pevin or Bob Zukas. I spoke to Don, but he hasn't yet gone out and looked at it, so I'll just catch up
Did you
with him
find a quote
again.
from last year?
Hmm?
Did you find the price from last year?
No, but it didn't get done at all.
I know, I was curious.
Yeah, I did not find the
Oh,
price. But I was gonna send Don out to look at it and give me a price. I'll send Bob out and give me a price. They both have equipment. I got a complaint today or yesterday about the four-wheeler trail that leads from McPeters Road to Robinson's.
Mhm.
That's across
Town property.
town property, but it is not our trail.
No.
But I was just confirming we don't have any liability there.
No.
He said it's very, very, very steep.
No, yeah, it is.
And one last thing, somebody called me about the dam here for Manianic.
what about it?
Which
Well,
one?
the one that, I believe the one that we own.
The one up by the ball field.
Wanting to know if we regulate that in any way, shape, or form. People are complaining because the pond is dry and their boats are dragging.
There's
And,
no,
Yeah.
there's,
and there's no water running out, so even if you put more boards in, it's not going
Yeah,
to
we
get
don't
you
know,
more
we don't do
water.
that.
Yeah.
But
I don't-
that's been that height is,
So there's no seasonal adjustment?
no,
No.
not that I've ever
Well, see,
remembered.
I hadn't heard, so I just wanted to know if any of you had.
I've never heard of a seasonal adjustment.
I didn't even, honestly, I didn't know it was ours.
Yeah,
It
that one
is.
is ours.
Yeah. Huh. Because a lot of towns do tweak them,
Mhm.
but we never have.
All that one is planks.
Right.
Yeah, that's, a lot of them are.
I
Still
don't know
works.
if-
I know, I
don't
get
know if
fish
we
with
have,
the same way.
Oh, really?
responsibility to go and tweak them at flood stage, I don't know.
I don't think so. I've never seen us do anything there.
Yeah,
I think it's our responsibility for, because they are just planks as far as maintenance of it.
yeah.
But
and what about the bridge over it?
that's ours too.
That's ours.
Whole thing. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of acreage of water there because of that. I mean, that's pretty much a man-made lake.
You really, oh yeah. you
Oh, yeah,
take that animal.
they used to hay it,
Really?
Yeah.
especially on the small
It's like
side.
Sebastopol.
My great-grandfather used to take the dam out, hay it and put the boards back in and,
The small side,
Really?
the small side's
On the
what,
small
5
side,
feet, 5
yeah.
feet in deepest point?
yeah, it's
And
not
it's just
very.
It is like
Yeah.
Sebastopol. It
Yeah.
like cuts in half when they open it up as a hole.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have there.
All right, the potholes, there's a few on Sherwood Mills Road, is he gonna hit that in East Sangerville?
He's
and-
starting East Sangerville, I don't imagine he did it today, unless he did it this afternoon when it dried out.
A couple of whoppers over there.
I got a good, yeah, there's one good one on my road.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, between you and Bob, there's a few.
I'll have him check all
Oh,
all of them.
I was just thinking the way I always go,
Yep.
but you're right, there's something down that way.
I'll have him check all of them, but
Great.
the ones I've had complaint about are on East Sangerville.
That's, it's-
Whoa.
Yeah,
No, it's,
I have a complaint, somebody wants me to fix their car.
That's not how that works.
I know.
all right. Anything else on roads? No? On to correspondence?
We'll say, I think McFeeters looks really, really good. I think
Yep.
Rowdy's did a really good job up through there with what they did.
I can't wait to stripe it.
Yeah.
I will call Steve again. Sometimes we play phone tag.
Request for additional agenda items? Hearing seeing none. Item 11, Selectmen's concerns.
None.
Moving along. Item 12, executive session. We have a request for executive session under MRSA 1405A, that's personnel. I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
We vote. It is 5:30 and we're about to enter executive session. It is 10 minutes 6 and we're gonna come out of executive session, or I make a motion that we come out of executive session.
Second.
Second.
We are, vote, we're all in favor. We are now out of executive session, no action taken. And while we were in executive session, Jason showed up from Pirate Rec, and I know he would like to speak to us, so we're gonna invite him in before we adjourn.
Jody, do you know how to unlock that?
She's just gonna,
Just let him in.
yeah.
They're still going.
On a day that we're not open.
Oh, rings all day long.
Is it locked? I think it is. I don't believe so. I don't. I'm writing on it. Executive session. I think.
The door's locked, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to unlock it?
We shouldn't be very
If
long.
we see somebody else come
We
in.
went through everything, Jason, so
It's all you.
it's all you. This is your opportunity to, just to have open session, so.
I think well, we were trying to do it in 2 phases, one for general use and two, probably the complexity of adding the sports programs back. So I thought on the plan, like a couple of things that we could do from a public standpoint to help promote, the whole COVID compliance would be if we did the sanitation stations at the high visited areas, so like the playground, maybe around the dugouts, the gazebo, wherever. So those would be where, it's like the little box on the wall, you actually have to push the button and the foam sanitizer comes out. So they're about, with the refill, it's about $15, but the problem is you can't buy them, there's like a national offer. I've checked a lot of janitorial companies in the Bangor area, I even called Foss, the porta potty company, and actually they're having people steal them out of the porta potties, like all over.
We had this discussion before you, and we all kind of said, I bet they're just getting stolen. I don't think we want to hang those up, so we're kind of on the same
Yeah.
page.
So, I mean, it's a little bit extra, I don't think it's required to put them up, but it just would be something extra to do. So we did that, we thought we would probably invest a little bit of money in some signs for compliance. So we had kind of debated over what would be some of the signs. So this here is I think 14 by 10 sign that we purchased. So any of these metal signs that you buy, the more you buy, the cheaper they are. So one sign is $22. If you buy 10 of them, they're like $12. So instead of having a lot of COVID signs that everyone was a little bit different, because that doesn't count towards the 10, maybe having like one sign with the kind of the key points on it would be more economical than, just having one that says use sanitizer or social distancing. So maybe we could do something like this. I don't know if you can see that, I didn't bring copies.
At
But
your own risk.
play at your own risk, limited sharing of gear, use sanitizer, limited large gatherings, social distance, face mask if within 6 feet. We're trying to spin like a positive thing, thanks for keeping our community safe. Something like that. So all the pricing on the signs are kind of tiered. So I think it was like one sign was 22-ish, 2 signs it was 17 each, and then 3 it was like 16. But once you got over like 5, yeah, I'm saying that right? Yeah, I think once you get to 5, I think it actually fell to $12. So, and they're pretty good signs, they're metal, and they're easy to, you know, stick on the fence or whatever. And if someone steals them, they're not like, you know, we're not out a lot of money, you know what I mean? And the other thing about this place, smartsigns.com, you can order it and you get them in 3-4 days, free shipping, if you buy them. So we bought that. The other part was what, remove the bleachers, we'll just pack them up.
I don't know where we're gonna put them.
Well, again, we kind of gone full circle on this.
Yeah, we have.
We have no liability. That was the big concern of the board, is, even though the governor, I don't think has said you can do whatever you want, we have no liability. Parkman, I guess, never actually even closed their park. Bangor's now has put the hoops back up. So,
Guilford's not closed.
Guilford's not closed, so we're kind of feeling like, you know, we're not gonna kick anybody out, but we're not gonna bless it either. It's just there. We're not gonna police it, because we have no liability.
And we can't police it, I mean,
No, we don't have a
Nobody
possible.
is policing it.
honestly.
Right.
We just don't see the sense to buy the signs, cause there's no enforcement.
So don't buy signs now?
We could
I
do
don't see
paper
the
ones
point.
with, you wanna hang them up with a covering on them if you want to, but that's up to you guys. I don't think the town's gonna, it almost
Yeah, I mean-
feels like the less we commit, the less.
I mean, our
we are
official
to-
stance is we're gonna say it's still closed.
Why? I guess I don't understand. Why would it be closed?
Because it hasn't, the
It's still part
governor has said that all parks are still closed. Is
She's
that
got all the
correct?
requirements that you need to meet to
On
open.
June 1st, all publics, they all reopened based on local approval.
But all of the reopenings require maintenance and monitoring.
Correct.
So they're provisional openings.
They're open if you do this.
They're opening, you should do X,
Oh.
Y, and Z, monitoring
And we can't
who's
do
doing
that.
what
No.
and managing it and enforcing.
Right.
It are all part of,
So what we thought is we would keep the closed sign, we would keep it closed, and that if you use it, it's at your
risk.
risk, but we're not
That's true with
policing
anybody
it.
who uses
We're
it.
not policing it.
We haven't kicked anybody off the field now.
No. in
People
fact,
play
that's-
basketball every day.
Yeah, but we have, I guess I'm not following why we're taking the position, but we purposely have not, I know there's people there, but we haven't like maintained any of the infields, we haven't put up the soccer nets, just to keep people away.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that was kind of intentional, I guess.
yeah, Bangor
I
did the
mean,
same
once we
thing.
put all that stuff in there, we have to maintain the fields, because, I mean, they're already a mess now. Then we should put up the soccer ball, you know.
they are being mowed.
Yeah, but the dirt part of the fields, if you don't drag them and keep them nice,
Mhm.
you get all kinds of weeds and everything else
Well,
pops
yeah.
up. So we kind of need to do all that work, I mean, you know. it's an hour.
Yeah, so I mean, are we gonna allow
So,
them
I
to
mean-
maintain the field? I mean, like, I
once
said,
you do all
Dexter
that-
never took the swing sets down, all those kids.
No, we never did that. I mean,
They,
Well, Dexter roped off their whole playground at Crosby.
oh, okay, I was talking at the lake.
At the lake, yeah.
The lake, the kids were swinging there, and they got a little merry-go-round, and the kids have been using it since.
I mean, it needs maintenance, it needs maintenance. It doesn't matter if we say it's closed or not. It's still a town's property, it needs to be maintained.
Yeah, we have the right
The way
to.
it's supposed to be
Just-
maintained.
Well, when you put up soccer goal nets and all that, that's just gonna buy more people there. So if it was closed, we didn't wanna do that, because we wanted to make it more like it's closed. I mean, taking down the hoops is quite a task, so that's why I was kinda hoping we didn't have to do that.
Bangor did, they put them back up.
Bangor has a lot more resources.
Correct. So, I mean, I think everybody's kind of lightening now. Like I said, Bangor's put them back up. I'm not sure that they're inviting people to have basketball tournaments, but they at least put the hoops back up. And we never took ours down, like you said, so I think if you put up the soccer nets, are we gonna object to
Yeah, but I mean, the town is the one that pays to have the grounds maintained. The nets and stuff, that's Pyro Rec stuff. So you're kinda talking two different things at the same time, right?
Yeah, but they're kinda close.
No, we're not. We have town and we have Pyro Rec. We are worried and focused on the town's part.
Right, and if we, I mean, we do wanna continue to maintain the recreational area. I mean, we don't want weeds growing up in the dirt
No.
because, you know, then we're playing catch up. So we need to do that.
The town doesn't do that. Fire rec does it.
Oh.
Or collaboratively we do it.
Alright.
Yeah, and
Well, I mean, we-
we're not
the town
gonna
budgets
stop
to
you from
maintain
doing it.
No.
I don't think we
The
are.
town budgets to maintain that field.
Yeah, but we do that. The only person that we hire is the lawn care outfit that mows the grass. They don't do anything else. There's no other contractor that does any maintenance. It's all done.
You do that.
We do it voluntarily, myself.
But that's
or
not all volunteered through Pirate Rec.
What's up?
That's not always volunteered through Pirate Rec. Okay.
Definitely.
I'm sure my tractor went down there for Pirate Rec, I went down to
Well,
help
that
the
one
town.
time,
And we grade that road, that's part of the town.
yeah, so the road, but summer maintenance.
Okay.
And we've been mowing the fields, right?
Yep.
Nothing changed there. So, but I guess we should, if he wants to put soccer nets up, do we care?
Okay.
And I mean, if you wanna put signs up, what do we think about that? I mean,
If he
they
wants
still-
to, I think,
Well, I don't have to, I mean, I thought it was more work than effort, but I thought that was part of meeting the Governor Mills checklist.
I think that's the problem, that's, we can't meet it.
Why?
Because we can't enforce it. We have no enforcement. And the part of meeting those guidelines
Is
is
the enforcement.
enforcement. And we can't enforce it.
Well, isn't that what the sheriff's department's for?
They're not gonna
They're
enforce
not
that.
going to,
So it's just gonna be closed forever?
I don't think this
I mean,
thing
I
is gonna
guess I
go
don't
forever, I
understand.
hope.
What's
But, I mean, I guess it could,
Yeah, I guess,
the way they're,
till the governor changes it. I mean, you just got to go to a restaurant the other day, so.
I mean, but, so, I mean, I know you wanna get started and,
Well, the summer's almost halfway over.
right.
Kids are itching, people
Right.
are itching to do stuff.
Sure. I mean, we sort of felt like if that you wanted to go ahead and start doing your programs, go ahead. It's such a tough thing because there's this,
well, I do know, I talked to Fire Rec, they do have insurance.
okay,
And while we have no liability, I'm pretty sure that's not necessarily the same for them.
right,
Correct.
right,
And so,
no, municipalities have a much higher level of immunity.
right,
So,
but they aren't incorporated.
and we're not entering into any kind of official lease with them or anything like that, so there's no entanglement.
No.
It's
It's
no
just our
different,
stance is the park's closed, cause we can't.
yeah, we're just arm's length.
right.
Right.
But if there are 10 kids over there playing soccer tonight, we're not gonna do anything.
It's no different than Guilford, I mean, they've got their park closed, but I've seen people in that. Their fields out there are wide open, they never close them. Anybody can go up to Guilford and play all they want, you can go to Parkman, I mean, Parkman didn't close. But that's their choice, they don't wanna follow what the guidelines are.
So I don't know, I don't think, I guess you can kinda take a chance if you want to.
No, we don't have a chain across or anything like that
Nope.
because people are taking their boats down and,
And some places did do that.
yeah, okay,
Some places, marinas were closed and,
oh, okay,
I mean,
wow,
depending on where you were,
We never closed the boat launch.
right,
you couldn't go
Or-
fishing in Baxter State
Well, it's kinda
Park.
hard on us to close the boat launch, cause a lot of people, that's how they access the property. so.
that's true too,
I mean,
that's
we
right,
can't close that boat landing.
right.
Well,
So-
we could've, I
Well, you
guess.
could, but
Some states did things like
So
that.
where is our closed sign?
online.
And there's a closed sign on top of the sign that we have stating all the
Yeah.
rules.
I mean, a lot of people don't know it, because it's on the backside of the building, so if you was to go to play basketball, you wouldn't even see the sign.
Okay.
It's on the,
Okay,
it's
So-
more intended if you're driving down the road, there's like a little
right,
piece of paper basically with some park rules, and it's like laminated paper, I mean, it's not like metal or
Okay,
anything.
I see.
And then at the bottom it just says closed.
closed,
But you have to kinda
Yeah,
almost.
closed sign's just in the page protector.
right,
I think that's all we need.
that we're just saying it's closed and you can go ahead and use it, right?
Just like the
Correct?
kids
We
playing
can't-
basketball
we don't-
when it
no,
came
we
through.
can't say, can you?
Okay.
No,
We're saying
No,
it's closed.
okay.
It's
closed.
not our deal.
It's not
Right,
our deal,
okay.
yeah, I mean,
Right,
we have no way to enforce it, no way to do anything, we're staying out of it.
right,
We're following the mandates. We
right,
can't enforce it, we need to keep it closed. The people up there that are breaking the rules, there's no way to enforce people not to play up there,
right,
so.
okay. Makes sense.
Anything else?
I just want to emphasize that a private entity does not have the same protections.
That, yeah, but that's, it's, you had a totally different, somebody wanted to do a skills clinic over there. Now, it's one thing if it's just a dad and his son and his nephews, but if he's charging, I don't know, maybe he has some liability that we wouldn't even,
He does.
but we don't.
Well, if it's your immediate family members, I think you're fine. If you start
Could be,
saying
yeah.
whoever shows up can play, I
Correct.
think there's some liability there, and
Mhm.
I'm just cautioning everybody who knows that we can't enforce things, that other people have liabilities.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, I mean, to me, until this changes and this all gets lifted, you don't have to have this level of enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
If we say it's closed, it's not enforceable anyway. It is what it is.
Right,
We're not telling anybody they can use it, and we can't enforce it if you are on it.
right, okay.
So.
Okay, not good.
As far as, I don't think we should pull our bleachers out of there.
Okay.
I mean, we're not sanctioning their use.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't pull, I agree that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't pull
I
them.
mean,
Yeah.
the park's closed, so if there are 8 kids sitting next to each other,
I can't pull.
You're not gonna
I
drive
can't-
down there and say,
I can't
"Kids,
pull
separate."
gazebo steps and I can't.
Right,
Oh,
on and on and on.
exactly. I
Yeah,
can't.
where do you stop?
Yeah.
Right,
so.
So what will be the triggering event to officially reopen it?
Once the government says, hey, we're open, then we'll pull down our little paper sign and we'll say, hey, we're officially wide open.
Right.
And we'll start scheduling events again. Town sanctioned events. Right now, if a person calls us and wants to be on the schedule, we're gonna say, we're not actually officially open.
Correct.
And that keeps us out of the mix. But we have not stopped anybody from using the park that I know of.
no.
No, and everybody knows it's closed, and I see the police drive by it all the time, and they haven't told anybody to get out there.
No.
I mean, they're not enforcing,
Well, the only person I've told to get out of there,
well, that's
we
a
had some
different
campers.
situation. So,
We had campers that,
Oh,
That's a different thing.
and they were using a fire ring and starting a fire, so,
Just really moving in.
yeah.
and did the sheriff,
I called the Forest Service
oh,
and they went down.
okay.
I mean, really, it's more a thing, I'd be getting hold of Paul Davis and Paul Stearns and
Yeah, right,
mean,
right,
that's where
and
it's
talking to the governor.
100%, it's
That's
them.
right.
These are all their rules.
They haven't even gone back into session.
I understand.
So, it's not.
I mean, it's no different than talking about, the whole thing with everything that is open and how many people can go in.
Mhm.
It's not the business's fault. It's all from well above.
That's right. Yeah. So,
So for the community concerts that are paid through donations through the town, so those can start again, or they couldn't start
The
again?
park is officially closed as far as the town is concerned.
So I guess I'm not sure if I understand.
That's where our stance is, that's what we've said.
So the concerts are administrated through, not with fire rec, through the town, so.
so that's.
So that's not happening.
That's not,
Is Dover Park having their fair?
no,
Okay.
no.
Well,
There you
fair
go.
is different than,
What's the
Why?
difference?
well, because a fair is like a big festival.
Yeah, but it's a
Matter.
huge piece of real estate too.
Yeah, but,
It's no different.
No, it isn't any different.
I mean,
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And these are hugely profitable events that all these communities have shut down. They're not
Right,
doing it
right.
because they want to.
The Greenville fly-in, I mean, these
Yeah,
things that they.
Well,
on and on and
I mean,
on.
The parades are closed, I mean,
That's right, that's right, that's right. The Whoopie
I mean-
Pie Festival, all these things, they're all, it's just not happening this year. It's just,
none of us can control COVID, none of us can control the governor,
no,
so
That's for sure.
yeah,
there's a lot of businesses that have gone out of business because of all of this.
yeah. Yeah,
okay, so I guess just scrap everything, I guess is what I'm hearing, or, I guess I'm not, I guess I wasn't prepared to hear this position, so I'm still kind of.
it's I think it's simple, it is very simple.
It's
The
closed.
park is closed, and
So like one is park in Dover, where the Y is, that's open, so why wouldn't you guys still don't?
That's Dover.
they're not following the
They're not following the rules.
guidelines from the governor.
They also have a public,
On June
they
first,
also
they
have a public
issued.
works, they have employees that
They
they can.
issued the
As
check.
long as you have all the levels of enforcement, you can do that. We don't have those levels.
So why can't we look to see what we can do? I mean, that's what we met last week.
If you can't meet those levels of enforcement,
You said you couldn't get enough volunteers to monitor kids while people were coaching, and you couldn't get
Well, that's
enough
not general
volunteers
use,
to.
though.
General,
it doesn't matter.
the board is not sanctioning general use, they've closed the park.
All right. You know that, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
We are adjourned at 6:05.